The Paul W. Smith Show, News Talk 760, WJR.
Good Monday morning to you. That's right. It's Monday, almost as exciting and as celebrated as Friday mornings around here, because, of course, we've all lost our minds. But that aside, it is Monday after a great weekend, the 8th of June, the 160th day of 2020. There are 206 days left in the year. Make each and every day count. Each day is a gift. And we have a reshuffling of our squares here. Happily, we have the Marie Osborne in for Dick Gaither. Could we hear you, Marie? Because earlier you couldn't hear us, but now through the air, I guess you'll be able to hear us.
I can hear you.
But we can't hear her very well because she is speaking to us. And we're going through our computers now, Marie, rather than through the regular station paraphernalia that you wear. I've got my regular station stuff over here, so it's a little difficult because we switch back and forth. But we did this to make it as confusing on you as we possibly could on your first morning here with us.
Yeah, this is very disorienting because I'm listening back to myself. So.
We're not laughing at you. We're laughing with you, except you'll notice you're not laughing.
Yes.
So Dayna Clark is here.
Hello.
In the middle square here on Hollywood Squares. And I can't see what hat you have on.
The Sopranos.
The Sopranos hat. All right, very good. Danielle is in for Brian today. Mike Kim is running around. She's been up for hours. I'm not kidding. It's crazy. Great. I wouldn't be up at this hour. Well, I guess I would be if you paid me, because, well, at least for the moment, I'm getting paid. And then, of course, our executive producer, who we missed for a week, Dave Rieger, did a nice job, but there's no Ann Thomas other than Ann Thomas.
Good morning, Job. Happy Monday. Nice to
Monday.
see you guys.
Nice to see you.
You too.
Hope you had a nice week off.
Beautiful weather, honestly. Oh,
yes.
Oh, yeah. Really good weather. Since we're going to be doing this through the summer, basically, from home, this is great.
It is really
great to be home, and great to have the weather that we're having and not having the terrible weather that those poor folks around the country are having with hurricanes and tornadoes and lots of terrible stuff. So terrible. It's terrible.
Terrible.
But again, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Martin Luther King Jr., who would be, if he were here, happier with the turn of events in the last several days, where there are still plenty of protests, but we slowly but surely are rooting out the evil people using the death of Mr. Floyd, which will go to Houston, where his real burial will take place, his funeral. We'll go there a little later today, but we're weeding out the people who are causing all the trouble. However, there's a lot of confusion in this country and a lot of people who believe that it's the police who are at fault and need to be dissolved, basically, which I think is absolutely stupid, but that's just my opinion, having lived on this earth a while and only imagining what it would be like if the anarchists get their way and do away with law and order, which is not a bad thing. Discrimination is a bad thing, but the two shouldn't be confused. You don't get rid of discrimination by getting rid of law and order. That's not the key. I don't know what you guys think about it, but...
Well, it's interesting. You're talking about how that Minneapolis City Council wants to dissolve the police force, right?
Yeah.
That is so unusual. What would they do for law and order?
Well, they're talking about it all across the country now, Ann.
Really?
People are like sheeple following along with others without giving it any real thought on what defunding your local police department actually means to all law-abiding citizens. It's frightening, actually, that it would get to this. But here's what we've gotten to. 542 at WJR.
This report is sponsored by Bob Evans Dinner Sides. The Bob Evans Farms family of products wants to remind you to drive sensibly as you get behind the wheel a bit more now. Drive smart and drive safely to shop at your local grocery store for Bob Evans mashed potatoes and mac and cheese.
I was at my favorite local grocery store, Fresh Farms, and it never occurred to me to get the Bob Evans mac and cheese.
You went out.
Being
Yay.
straightforward, I did go out. And I didn't get tater tots.
Forgot the
either.
tater tots,
I
right?
didn't get tater tots.
Yeah.
It was Ann and I spoke on my drive home, and it was so she said, as a good producer would say, "Well, are you going back?"
Yeah.
And I said, "No, I had demasked, de-gloved,
Right, the
everything.
whole thing.
I had made my trip. I was on my way home. The tater tots will live to."
You always
tater
forget
tots.
one thing. Don't you notice that?
Yeah.
You always forget one thing.
It's better when I'm there than making a list. They were great. They still deliver, I know, but I like to walk amongst the stuff and see things, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, what I'm going to hear right now is our WJR traffic and weather first and Miss Dayna Clark.
Traffic First sponsored by the Mechanical Contractors Association of Detroit. When your commercial, industrial, public, or residential project calls for plumbers, pipe fitters, or HVAC service technicians, the Mechanical Contractors Association of Detroit connects you with the very best, highly skilled and trained union contractors to get started on your next project. Visit mcadetroit.org. Quiet start out there, no reported problems, no delays. Construction in Southfield, 12-mile both directions between Telegraph and Lasser. Construction will reduce that area to one lane through late fall. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Restore Wellness Center. Are you experiencing nagging body pain, tired of taking medication for relief? Neck and back, arthritis, tendonitis, muscle soreness, and more. The Restore Wellness Center can help relieve or eliminate the pain completely, and you get back to work. Reserve your appointment today. Call 800-935-5959 in Brighton, Shelby, and Bloomfield, or restorewellnesscenter.com.
Yeah, seeing a few high clouds this morning. Otherwise, a real nice start here to our new week. We'll go through the day with lots of sunshine, 80. Tonight, passing clouds, 60. Tomorrow, partly to mostly cloudy, just a passing shower or a thunderstorm, 89. Windy Wednesday with a few showers, thunderstorms, highs in the low 80s. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Staging on News Talk 760 WJR.
And at 5:45, a gentleman who checks in with us from noon to 3 here on WJR in between his treatment for his lung cancer. We have the one and only Rush Limbaugh checking in on WJR.
On March 17th, Nevada's Democrat Governor Steve Sissel.
Speaking of Rush, how's he doing, Deb?
I just talked to him. I just talked to him last week. Could I ask, is it Sean back there? Sean?
Yes, Sean.
To move the live 757 off my name. Is that possible? If we could put that little bug somewhere else. I don't know if you can hear me, Sean.
He says I did on his screen.
I did on my screen. I don't know what that means because it's still on mine. I don't know what I have to do. And Marie, he asked if you're connected to StreamYard Audio.
Hey, see, so when the radio station's off,
she can't hear us.
So she's not connected to it. Let me call her.
I wonder if she knows that there's information on the right.
I'm going to call her just for a minute here. So talk amongst yourselves and tell us how's he doing? Is Rush feeling okay?
He says, like we've heard this from other people, good days and bad days.
Yeah.
He gets this up and he feels really good, and they hope that that's the trend.
Sure.
And then he gets, goes back to bad. So he said he won't be on the air this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. He hopes he can come back Thursday, Friday, but that's just his hope at this point. The question was asked if I could make my screen bigger. My screen is as big as it'll get while I still have those notes, the private chat and the live comments on my right.
Let me try to call Marie while you guys are talking.
Yeah, so I'm trying to hit live comments so I can see our people. Okay,
Yep.
There's Emily Gale.
From
Aloha.
Hawaii.
The Big Island.
boy.
You know we love you.
Wish I was there now.
So Joanne Kelly Stramberski, Ron Becker, Patrick Mendez, Clay Jerky.
Hello.
There's Marie.
Oh,
Well, we
Lord.
hear her, but now we don't see her. So
Patrick says to let you know, Dayna let Paul know Quatros. in Monroe is coming back this summer. Is that how you say it?
That's a bar,
I
I
don't-
guess. Yeah, Patrick Mendez.
Are you talking to me, Ann?
Oh my goodness. This is
Restart, which I agree with. Clay Jerk. Tenors' lives matters. I don't get that. I'm sure I'm.
Oh, well, he was saying something about the sopranos. The sopranos. How about the tenors or altos? That's from Clay with the cutest puppy ever.
All right, Clay, you've been up obviously longer than I
Clay
have
is
been.
on it.
I'm actually still in bed. This is
Are you?
This is a reasonable facsimile of me. I'm not sure the order these things going. All right, Patrick Mendez, Kathy McPherson, Patrick Mendez. Quattro's is Monroe. Okay, Quattro's is a nice corner bar restaurant.
Okay.
Nice to hear, especially when so many things are closing.
Well, today is the day, Paul W., that restaurants and bars are opening
Yeah.
at half capacity. And I guess we'll have to see. But, hey.
Hello, Kellyanne Nagy.
Oh, she
our
is.
Good morning,
long-distance,
Kellyanne.
listener and
Too.
viewer. Yeah.
Isn't Andiamo, Joe Vicari's, all those restaurants
Yes.
opening today? That's what I
Yes,
thought.
they
I heard.
are.
I think everything
Everything, pretty much.
survived.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yes. So we'll see.
Pretty big
What-
places and little places didn't survive. Hopcat, huge place,
Yeah.
and a huge company, the whole company going bankrupt.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You can
Yes.
see my little love notes from Kim on my coffee. that
How
she puts-
sweet. Why does she
every
wake
morning.
up so early? What is
She's an early,
She's early.
She can't sleep.
Early bird.
I am a night owl. She
But
is
what
an
time
early
does she
bird.
go to bed?
Well, a little earlier than me.
Like what?
A little.
Well,
Midnight?
no. She really works hard. What time, honey? 10? You try to be in bed by 10, right?
Yeah.
You try to be in bed by 10, right? She's listening to another show.
Oh.
No, no, I know. She's on delay through her system.
Oh,
Wait a minute.
right.
Oh, because you're using when you put on the wireless headphones, you'll be able to hear everything.
Patrick, I don't think you
Oh.
want to hit a buffet.
You should be hitting through this, which wouldn't be delay. She's
Oh.
listening through the computer or something. I'm not sure. I'm actually on delay right now, but I'll be up soon.
At 9:00.
Let's see. Good morning, team. Thank you for the live stream. David Wilkin.
Patrick wants to have Chinese buffet.
Patrick, you don't want any type of buffet.
Will there
Okay,
even
so
be a
He needs
buffet?
his Chinese
that.
buffet. I don't think they're doing it anymore.
They don't need a buffet. You
I
don't
think
want
they're doing away with buffets.
They should.
I don't know if they're being made to or what.
Kathy says Butler Run in St. Clair Shores posted a countdown. That must be a restaurant, Kathy?
Butter Run.
A bar. Yeah, a bar restaurant.
Well, a lot of people are anxious to get back to some semblance of normalcy.
Yes,
It's going to be a while,
I think so too.
unless you just think that a person coming up is saying, "Where's my mask?" Just a second.
I have a shield too.
Do you want cheese on
Yes.
that hamburger?
Yes.
No, I
Yes,
would ask
Mom.
for a cheeseburger if I wanted cheese on my hamburger.
You can't hear.
So it'll be interesting to see what the protocol really will be, because I've heard lots of different stories. Like some people say you have to walk in with the mask, have it on, sit down at the table, and then you can take it off at the table. But I've heard other people say, no, you can only take it off when you're eating. And then
I don't know.
I wonder if when the waiter or waitress is serving you, will they have to change their mask and gloves every time? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be a good idea. I saw something on the news where somebody was saying when they come in there, you got to have a mask, and of course, we will provide the masks. I don't know how long that'll last, or if there'll be a mask fee. I wonder how many places will have a COVID-19 upcharge.
Yes.
Because it's going to
Yeah.
cost more to do
Yeah.
business.
Yes.
So I don't know. But the other thing is now in restaurants, and I like this. I've never liked it when the people who serve you your food come over and start taking your plates away. Because that means they're touching a bunch of dirty plates. Then they're coming around and bringing your food again with,
That's a good point.
So a lot of places, maybe it's the law, I don't know, will no longer let the servers clear your places, take your dishes away. Now that will be the the bus service, the bus boys, bus girls, whatever the proper term is now, that the bussers, there's no sex involved with bussers, boys or girls, will take away the dirty plate.
You're hearing the Paul W. Smith Show, News Talk 760, WJR.
Well, the news has been better than ever, as we would hope. The Michigan coronavirus COVID-19 cases now up to 58,870. The death toll now at 5,656. And thank you, Click on Detroit, for putting more than 42,000 recoveries have been confirmed. That's a number we sorely need along the way with all these other numbers. So that's where we are. I think you guys, and Marie, you back me up. This is what you do. Fewer people died over the weekend than we've had die, as I understand it.
Absolutely. That number is way down, just up 4 deaths. Now, on the weekends, you know that the numbers are different because they don't have all the reporting stations coming in. But that's still a pretty excellent number.
Yeah, that's good news. And the other good news, we had a 10th night of protesting in Detroit, and the 10th night looks a heck of a lot better than many nights in other cities, major cities, and it was our best weekend of the weekends that have been involved during the protesting, the very valid legal protesting that is taking place. And then there's still those problems elsewhere, and especially the problems where the Minneapolis mayor is against it. And he, by the way, came out right away. The moment Mr. Floyd was killed, he called for the cops to be fired and arrested and charged. So he was their darling until he said he wasn't for the defunding of the police department because he apparently is sensible. So now he's on the outs. He was booed out of a rally, I guess, yesterday or the day before. Michael Bouchard, Sheriff Bouchard, 5-6 years ago, put forward a paper, if you will, a proposal, if you will, on how we could better our policing overall. And he couldn't get any support from Lansing or Washington. So he's back with that list of like 5-6 years ago, and he's going to share that with us this morning after the 8 o'clock news.
That's interesting. What are some of his ideas, Deb?
I'm sure I have it in my stack here. I'm sure most of it is training. It's about training. And that's, this de-escalation. And I'm going to ask him this question because I've often wondered about this. And that is why, and it's universal, why the police have, and this is going to change, gotten so rough with people right from the beginning. It's like if somebody is standing there and they say, okay, now maybe they had a chase, maybe they had some bad stuff happen, but whatever it is, but it's over and they're standing there. When the police come in, they throw them down on the ground. I mean, that's universal. It's I don't think it's the right thing to do. That's not de-escalating anything. And then they step on people's heads or their shoulders or whatever. And so as they're writhing in pain, they say, well, he's resisting, so let's beat the hell out of him. I mean, I've watched it happen with my own eyes, sadly. And this goes back to 1985 in New York City when I saw some guy running down the street, and then I saw a foot patrol officer in uniform running after him. So I'm like an idiot. I'm wearing a suit, so he doesn't know what I am, if I'm a cop or not a cop. I get out in the street and I go like this to stop this guy, to get in his way. It slowed him down enough for the cop to get him. The cop smashed him up against the wall, holding his head against the wall. But unfortunately, 3 or 4 other police cars came, because when you in New York City say, officer needs assistance, they drive the wrong way down the street. They drive on the sidewalk. They do whatever they do for the officer needing assistance. And each officer that arrived put their hand on his head and smashed it into the cement even more. And I go, guys, you have them, for God's sake. That was in 1985 in New York City. Time to do our little business here at 5:57.
This report is sponsored by Bob Evans Dinner Sides. The Bob Evans Farms family of products wants to remind you to drive sensibly as you get behind the wheel a bit more now. Drive smart and drive safely to shop at your local grocery store for Bob Evans mashed potatoes and mac and cheese.
Our WJR traffic and weather first with Dayna Clark.
Still quiet out there this Monday morning. Traffic first, also sponsored by Oakland University. Prepare yourself to advance with the Oakland University Executive MBA program, now enrolling for the fall semester. Transform your career by taking classes on the weekend. Learn more at OU's virtual info session June 13th or at oakland.edu/EMBA. More construction in Royal Oak, 14 mile both directions between Greenfield and Crooks, reduced to 1 lane through November. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Liberty Title, protecting property since 1974. For over 45 years, Liberty Title has been helping buyers and sellers keep their real estate transactions safe and secure. You get to choose your title company. Don't fall for a split closing that adds to your closing costs. You have a choice. Choose libertytitle.com. Expecting lots and lots of sunshine today. No rain in the forecast. A high of 81 for Tuesday. It's downright hot. Partly cloudy. We could see 90 degrees or higher. A 10% chance of rain on Tuesday. Wednesday looks like we get some thunderstorms, windy conditions, just a little bit cooler, a high of 86. Currently clear skies, 55 degrees. I'm Dayna Clark, WJR News with Marie Osborne in 2 minutes.
So now we're off the regular radio and just with our WJR social media folks. I hope that Marie's setup is such that she won't be able to hear us and us screw up her newscast. Do we think that's okay? Everything's going to be all right?
Deb. I think we're going to be okay. Famous last words. Now,
Right.
Fran is telling us, listening on Alexa, instead of hearing Rush's morning update, there was nothing but a long string of commercials.
I really hate that. I've tried to do Alexa too. And there's oftentimes you'll hear not only a long string of commercials, the same doggone commercials over and over again.
Over and over again. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I've
that's
brought that up
something.
I brought that up to people, but
To the engineering?
yeah. Well, actually, to Jeff Marcero, since it included commercials, and I didn't know what was right or wrong with all of that. Slowly but surely, we're doing this under the worst of conditions because nobody's at work. Nobody,
That's actually a good point.
everybody's at home. So I would not recommend for most radio station projects to do them when none of us can be at the studio, and including the engineers, to be able to fix some of these things. Now, Sean is working hard behind the scenes. Is Sean at home too?
Mm-hmm.
Controlling all of this?
Oh, yes.
WJR Detroit and WDVD HD2 Detroit. The great voice of the great.
Well, I don't know. I'll be back.
Okay, Deb. We'll talk amongst ourselves.
I have a question, Annie.
After COVID-19,
Hang on one second.
service restaurants and bars are
Sean, you
open
could
beginning
take
today,
Marie
but
out
there
of
will
this
be a limit on the number of
Facebook
patrons.
mix for
Now,
the
some
news.
restaurants may not open today due to the
If
fact that they
you
weren't given enough
wanted, you
notice
could
to-
take, there you go. Perfect.
Look at you
Now,
directing.
Dana, we can talk
So,
amongst
okay,
ourselves.
so
I'm
Andy-
producing.
Right. This is behind the scenes stuff.
Right.
So you know how we were doing We Are Open.
Yes.
Should
Yes.
should we stop that because restaurants are now open, or make this the final week before my week off?
That may be a good idea. Yes, that make this the final week.
Okay.
The only thing is, we may want to do a little more down the road, depending on how restaurants report back to us, if we could help them at all. Because
Okay.
we want to make sure everybody knows what's open. Because I guess even though today restaurants are staying open or opening, I should say, some of them aren't. Some of them are like,
Right.
we're not quite ready. So we want to try to help any restaurant once they're ready, number one. But number two, explain to people, what's the protocol? Because I noticed Danielle, our board operator for the week, and for Brian, she works at Buffalo Wild Wings, I think she said.
Yeah.
And she said that she'll have to wear a mask, no gloves, but we don't have to wear a mask
Mm,
to eat there.
okay.
And I have a feeling that everybody's going to have a different routine.
Procedure. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And so people
Yeah.
who are interested in going to these restaurants should probably know ahead of time, what's the protocol, and how many people can a restaurant take? Do we know that? I know it's at a
I won't
smaller
know
capacity.
that. I can't. I wouldn't have the information to break that down.
Break that down, yeah.
Restaurant.
Maybe they would.
I can
Maybe
give
they'll
a
tell us.
general. Yeah, I can give a general. I mean, a lot of restaurants will be taking temperatures. It's going to be half capacity, 6 feet apart. I can kind of give that general stuff today since they're opening. Most are opening up.
Danielle says Buffalo Wild Wings 50% capacity.
50%, right? 50%, and yeah, I guess you can always still get carry out too. Obviously, if you don't want to stay, and dine in. But
do we think most people will try a restaurant, or what's the feeling?
I don't
what do
think
you
so.
think?
I don't think so.
You think they're going to be nervous?
It's going to be a while before people feel totally comfortable of going to a restaurant. Of course, some people will.
Good morning, T.
Hey, at this point, with all the protests and the rallies and stuff, people are all the work that was done is over. People are out next to each other. Most are wearing masks, but at this point, you must just open everything up. People know what to do. If you don't know what to do at this point, I don't know what to say, but you might as well just open everything. People are out there and they are out strong. And so I don't know.
So Gust wants to know if we've heard of the restaurants where they're using the shower curtains.
Yes.
We talked about it in the roundtable one day.
And the mannequins, they have mannequins at certain tables, instead of just having them empty or cornered off. Yeah.
But do you have to clean the shower curtain after each use?
I guess so.
It seems like it would be. We're talking about restaurants, Deb, and all the different, every restaurant's probably going to have a different way of opening up. And Gust was asking us if we'd seen the ones where they're using shower curtains in Ohio.
No, I'd heard about it. We talked about it on the air.
We talked about it on the roundtable.
We talked about it on the air about doing that. But here's what I'm thinking, and I know from restaurant owners, and that is they need a lot of time to get ready to open. Their cupboards are bare, completely. They don't have the food in stock and all the other things that they need to be able to open a restaurant. That stuff, that takes time and that takes money, and they have to get stuff in there. You don't want to walk into a restaurant and ask for whatever you're asking for and them saying, oh, we don't have those. Now, it's going to happen, but you want to have as much as you can to be open and to serve people the way you want to serve them. So there are a lot of things that go into opening the restaurant, and that's something that is part of the consideration here.
The other thing we're talking about is, do you think people will go running back to a restaurant, or will they dip their feet in, or will they not go yet at all?
Kim, you're not real thrilled with going back to a restaurant, are you? You're not really thrilled with going back to a restaurant.
The Paul W. Smith Show.
Can't wait,
News
but
Talk
she's not ready
760 WJR.
Good Monday morning to you. It is the 8th day of June already, the 160th day of 2020. There are 206 days left in the year. Make each and every day count. Each day is a gift. And I just wanted to say, graduates, and I must have, it must still be on the printer, I'm not sure, because I printed it, I got it late. The list of the schools that we have this week for graduations. I want to again, on behalf of WJR and General Motors, salute all the graduates. We do a special program at 8:05 each evening featuring various high schools. But there are all kinds of high schools doing all kinds of things, including, I know, Grosse Pointe North and Grosse Pointe South did some fabulous parades. Have you noticed that's what a lot of them are doing? Kind of a graduation parade to do something special for these kids that have had a messed up final year in high school. Thank you, sweetheart. So I just wanted to remember to say something about that before we ran out of time and we get rolling with the regular show. The regular show is amongst us with our team, the Paul W. Smith RoundTable team. And that includes now Marie is in for Dick. There you see her. I don't know if she's at the bottom left-hand corner on your screen, but she is on mine. Then we have, of course, also checking in Dayna Clark with the traffic, weather, and other things that are going on. Dayna, nice
Good
to have
morning.
you here. Good morning. Danielle is in the booth. Sean is somewhere controlling the social media aspect because from 5:35 until 6:15 thus far, we are dual broadcasting on the air, 7:60 a.m. That's till 9 o'clock. And then also on social media, so you can hear us all morning till 9. But you can see us very early in the morning, which is, I'm not sure that's a good thing, but that's what it is. We also, frightening. We have Mike Kim, who's up and just got me my stuff about the broadcasting, etc. Some flights that are being cut, the 11 cities, the Delta, our hometown airline, isn't going to be flying to. And, of course, back with us after a week off, our executive producer, Ann Thomas.
Good morning, Deb. Happy Monday. Great to see you.
Happy Monday to you. Great to see you. Did I ever get around in these all the conversations leading up to this to letting you know it is National Jelly-Filled Donut Day?
Oh, interesting.
Sounds good right now.
I always like jelly-filled donuts, but the closest thing to a jelly-filled donut for me in the last several years has been when the punchkis are delivered and have jelly in them. But they're much heavier. They're a much heavier dessert than a regular jelly donut. But man, a regular jelly donut, though it can be disastrous if you try to eat it while you're doing anything else. Somehow later you say, how'd I get jelly on my shirt? Well, you had a jelly donut.
Where's the best spot for a jelly donut?
Oh, gee whiz.
Clay said Tim Hortons for him.
People like Tim Hortons. People, people have their favorite places.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of independent donut shops, which is surprising since the big ones, like Dunkin' Donuts. Oh, no, we're not supposed to say
Just
donuts.
Dunkin'.
Dunkin'. Like Dunkin' and Tim's.
Tim's.
Oh, you can still say Tim Hortons.
Yes.
I got it. These are deep fried piece of dough or batter from the Dutch origin of oily cake. That doesn't make it sound so good. I'll have an oily cake, please. The one with the hole in it.
How about a healthy donut? Is there such a thing?
No, Annie.
Or maybe we could put
a
some
healthy
yogurt
donut.
in it?
A healthy donut is a big donut in my mind. Now that's a healthy donut.
Of course.
That's a big jelly-filled donut. Dunkin' Donuts has over 1,700 locations. They're in 29 countries. Krispy Kreme, there's one we didn't remember. Krispy Kreme, people swear by that glazed, yeast-raised donut.
Where else? Dutch Girl Donuts.
Yes,
Dutch Girl, they're still around.
Yes, they are still around in Detroit.
Jelly-filled and chocolate frosted rank as the top sellers.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I like a chocolate frosted donut. Coconut Crunch, though not a number one seller, still remains one of the over 52 varieties of donuts that at least like they say the chain, but I said Krispy Kreme probably, but Americans consume how many donuts annually?
50 million.
Yeah, that's still not enough.
What?
Are you kidding?
10 billion donuts.
Wow.
And that,
they went in the donut business.
And that, my friends, is why Florine Mark will have a job till the day she dies. God bless her.
She's the one who says step away from the donut. She just told that.
Did she say that?
Yes, she just said that the other day.
If you really want to scare her, threaten her with a donut.
Right. Chase her.
Not going to happen. All right. So that's a bunch of food stuff. I don't want to get into this, but 1786 in New York City, the first commercially made ice cream is offered for sale. We don't believe that. We believe that Michigan and Sanders had the first commercially made ice cream. I don't know. It doesn't. At this point, it doesn't much matter. Walter Hunt died.
You're talking about donuts and ice cream.
This isn't food. Now I've given away a clue, but Walter Hunt died on this day in 1859. If I had money, I'd offer you $100 if you could tell me without looking.
I don't know who he is.
Without looking. Can Marie hear us?
No.
No. Okay. Walter Hunt invented the first safety pin.
Oh.
See, we didn't even know.
Wonderful invention.
He's meant a lot to us.
He really has. That's a good point.
It was called the dress pin back then. The dress pin, interestingly enough. And it turns out is it already 6:13? This time goes by quickly. There is such a thing as too much pizza.
No way.
Somebody has been sending a Belgian man pizza that he doesn't order.
I saw this.
For over a decade.
Really?
Sometimes as many as 14 pizzas. Now, wait a second. He's not made to pay for them. There's no such thing as too much pizza if you have a freezer.
Yeah, but it just keeps coming and coming.
And it's free.
So strange.
Just accept it. You want to send me pizzas for the rest of my life? I'll find a place to put them.
Me too.
You know, speaking of sending stuff, I haven't been to the radio station in over 2 months. And so I haven't been to my mail. So I'm not ignoring the mail. I just haven't been there. But I got some mail that Ray brought me. And so I'm letting everybody know I'm not ignoring you. I just am not getting it. But got to read this one to you from Donald McDonald in Plymouth. Dear Mr. Smith, I just listened to your 2019 Goodfellows speech on YouTube, WJR website, I guess. I don't know where I could find that. I'd love to see it. It was fantastic. You mentioned WJR is also almost 100 years old. Yes, and radio began in 1920. I didn't remember that, but about 3 years ago, I got a free cup of coffee at Bigby for mentioning your name. I didn't remember that either. But anyway, Donald is 100 years old, too. And just like WJR is almost. And Donald sent me a 1920 Buffalo nickel.
Oh, how cool.
Oh, that's nice.
That's very
and I
nice.
thought this would be just as good a time as any to say, I'm especially in a position these days to accept any money you want to send me. If you want to name me in your will, I will be a great son, grandson, nephew. I will be very thankful. And, well, that's about it. This is making Danielle play the traffic sounder as many times as she's ever had to in a loop.
Yeah.
Ever before.
She's got this, though.
But it's 6:15 at WJR.
This report is sponsored by Bob Evans Dinner Sides. The Bob Evans Farms family of products wants to remind you to drive sensibly as you get behind the wheel a bit more now. Drive smart and drive safely to shop at your local grocery store for Bob Evans mashed potatoes and mac and cheese.
That's going to run all morning, and it's going to start to make me want that.
Yeah.
Our WJR traffic and weather first, Miss Dayna Clark.
We had an accident. It's already gone. 94 eastbound right before Harper. We have a new collision along the Lodge northbound at Wyoming. Accident blocking the from Wyoming to the Lodge. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by IBEW Local 58.